Let's carnivore up your Thanksgiving. All right. So tomorrow is Thanksgiving in America. If you're watching this outside of America, well, okay. But today, or tomorrow rather, is Thanksgiving, which means today is the last shopping day you're going to have. Some stores will be open on Thanksgiving Day for all the people who forgot, to buy extra eggs or cream or whatever for their holiday. But you're probably wondering how you're going to do Thanksgiving on the carnivore diet, especially if this is your first rodeo, first time doing one of these. You might be a little intimidated. I'll tell you, the best way to do it is just to stick to the game plan. You know, just keep eating animal products. That's it. Now, that might be a little harder when you go visit family and they want to, offer you some, grandma's famous stuffing or pecan pie or whatever. That stuff that's definitely not on the plan. I will tell you, please just, white knuckle it, stick to the game plan. And I will tell you to bring some food items with you that will help make things easier. Bring enough to share. And if people don't want your weird carnivore things, even though these are all pretty tasty and the kind of stuff you find on appetizer menus and fine dining restaurants for the most part, fine, you could take it home and have more later. None of these things are bad. A lot of the items I'm going to suggest here, because I've got like 4 or 5 items here that I'll suggest, and they're not bad. They're just, not ruminant per se. And non-ruminant animals on a carnivore diet are fine in small amounts. Most people will treat themselves to chicken wings sometimes. Just please get them from a place that fries them in actual tallow or lard. Don't go to a place that fries them in vegetable oil. Like Buffalo Wild Wings does them in animal fats. That's why people tend to like that place. Or cook them yourself in your air fryer or your pellet grill or in your oven or whatever. But don't take the gamble with vegetable oil places. But anyway, let's talk about a few items here that you can do fairly cheap, most of these too, that you can bring with you, or if you're hosting, you can have for people to try on a carnivore, and that'll keep you or help keep you on your carnivore diet. Probably the simplest one here, bacon wrapped shrimp. Go to the store, buy some nice peeled and deveined, even pre-cooked if you want, thick shrimp, the really big ones, the jumbo or the large. Buy some extra thick sliced cut bacon, and you make bacon wrapped shrimp. It's about as easy as I described, but there are recipes online that have various levels of seasoning. Customize it to your needs. How much should you make? Depends how big of a gathering you're going to. Tomorrow, Thanksgiving is going to be my mother, my 2 brothers, my wife, and I, and my 4-year-old son and my 1-year-old daughter. The kids don't eat much, and they don't understand the concept of eating beyond being satiated anyway. But the adults will probably try to have a good time. My wife does keto, I do carnivore, the rest of my family doesn't do any of those things. So I'm not bringing bacon wrapped shrimp, but I'm bringing something else. The next item on your list could be Bella the Steak and Butter Gal's egg pudding. She has on her YouTube channel, she's one of the biggest carnivore influencers out there. You go find her YouTube channel. She's done several times videos showing how simple it is to make her egg pudding. Traditional Chinese dish of some kind. I haven't tried it because I never saw her make one that did have egg whites, because my stomach cannot handle egg whites. I have a basic food intolerance. They leave me gassy and generally unpleasant to be around, and my stomach does not like them in general, so I have never had it. But I have seen plenty of people who have, and they rave about it. They say it's delicious. This is the kind of item probably best if you are hosting a Thanksgiving, as opposed to traveling. I couldn't imagine trying to travel with this stuff. But I might be wrong. She may have said something in a video about how she travels with it. So that's your number 2 item. Bella's egg pudding. Go try it. It's practically a dessert item. Everyone else is eating their pie or their ice cream, and you can be sitting here eating what looks like pudding, because it is pudding. Speaking of eggs, number 3, deviled eggs made with bacon grease mayonnaise. There are recipes. I just Googled one for keto bacon grease mayonnaise. Now, a lot of times these will be for a little more relaxed carnivore. If you are okay with having mustard on occasion on your carnivore diet, this is the food item for you. And if you only do condiments on occasion, I think Thanksgiving is a day where it's probably okay. As long as your body can handle them, of course. Again, any advice on this stuff, you got to customize to your own personal physiological needs. But deviled eggs with bacon, grease, mayonnaise. They're basically gonna have a deviled egg that tastes a little bit like that has a bacony flavor. Who wouldn't want that? And buy a bunch of relatively cheap eggs, as long as the stores near you don't have an egg limit like Costco for some reason right now. And you can make a couple dozen, 3 dozen, 4 dozen, depending on how many people you're expecting at your Thanksgiving get together. The next item, pork ribs. Lots and lots of ways to cook them. I cook pork ribs in a pellet grill. Yes, they, get some light seasoning and they cook for 5 hours, closer to 4 hours for me because I still like them firm. But some people prefer fall off the bone ribs. There's a method called the 3-2-1 method. It's typically for a pellet grill. You can do it in your oven. It works just as well. I don't like it. I don't like I don't like turning ribs into pulled pork. That's what it kind of does. But if it sounds good to you, try it. It's your food. Eat it as you want. But pork ribs, they're not that expensive. In fact, at a lot of grocery stores, it's like the most frequently marked down item in the meat area. I would go with a better quality pork than what's in the typical grocery store most of the time. But again, as a one-off, it'd probably be fine, unless you know you can't do it. But essentially, remember what's the main course at most Thanksgiving dinners? Turkey. It's always turkey. If you're not hosting, you have no control over the quality of that turkey. You'll probably eat some to be nice, knowing full well, unless you know that commercial grade poultry is not something you should eat, like because it'll cause you personally problems. So the most essential rule I can tell you is add beef or another ruminant to it. I wish I could tell you that you could easily just go down to Whole Foods and today and go to the meat area and ask for some venison tomahawk ribeyes. They're wonderful. Force of Nature Meats has them. They take you a couple weeks to get once you order it, but they're wonderful. And they're also about this big. Counting the bone, that's the bone. One finger to the other, that's the bone, and then the meat's along like that. They're small. They're fun. Probably can't buy it at Whole Foods. I've seen some Force of Nature Meats at my local Whole Foods. I've never seen those. But some kind of ruminant. Bring some kind of ruminant. So here's what I'm going to have. I am going to make some beef plate ribs. These are giant, big beasts of meat. They are often called brisket on a stick. Yes, I will be seasoning them beyond salt. Again, Thanksgiving. I'm cooking for more than myself. Cooking for more than just myself. So I'm going to, put some pepper and some other things on them. We'll cook them properly. I'll have a binding, probably a binder of mustard to keep the spices on. And they're going to be wonderful. They're going to be great. It's like one of my favorite things to cook, but they're hard to find unless I go all the way to Costco to get them because most places, at least in Oklahoma, don't sell beef ribs unless they're short ribs. And I get really tired of short ribs real quick. But have some beef. If that means here's another one. You've been to places where you've seen, little cube steak with just a toothpick sticking out of it. Find a recipe that will work for what you're doing. Make that and bring it, or serve it at your house if that's what you're doing. Point being, you do not have to fall off the wagon on Thanksgiving. I would hope that your family will look at the way you like the transformation you've undergone if this is your first year or first couple of months doing carnivore, where you've gotten your whatever metabolic issues under control or things that aren't really thought of as metabolic, but amazingly carnivore took care of it for you. Your mental health issues under control with this, or you've lost 40 pounds doing carnivore. I would hope that they would say, congratulations, I won't offer you the thing you shouldn't have. And then they won't look at you funny when you're eating, Bella's egg pudding while everyone else is having pie and ice cream. I would hope so. But tune in here Friday if you do or did fall off the wagon. Put in the comments section below if you've got some other carnivore-friendly or keto-friendly items that you would suggest that people think about today as their last shopping day, basically before Thanksgiving, to stay on their carnivore diet. Let me know what you thought of all this in the comments. Like and subscribe if you haven't. It really does help. I'm Anthony Stine, Practical Carnivore. Thanks for your time.